Hi, I'm Anthony Breznican, a journalist and novelist who's been covering film, television, and books for over 2 decades at Vanity Fair, Entertainment Weekly, Associated Press, USA Today, and more. My specialist expertise lies in blockbuster franchises, and so it's my pleasure today to present the greatest action movie of all time. It's hard to separate Rambo's first screen appearance from all of the characters' later movies. It hardly seems like the same person, and the muscle-bound one-man war machine of those sequels bears virtually no resemblance to the meek, reluctant hero of 1982's First Blood. Those other movies are among the worst action movies ever made, if only because they became so progressively cartoonish. But the first one, based on the melancholy 1972 novel by David Morrell, is among the best action films. I'm arguing the very best. That's because the Rambo of that story, and the way Sylvester Stallone played him, before the sequels turned him into Randy Macho Man Savage crossed with an M1 Abrams tank, was fraught with humanity, frailty, and believability. The story involves a wandering Vietnam War veteran struggling to adjust to life back home after seeing the most bloody, corrosive conflict imaginable. While passing through a small town in the Pacific Northwest, Rambo is hassled by a local sheriff and his deputies, who see him as nothing but a vagrant. They push him around, and Rambo quietly absorbs it, but he doesn't leave. So, they arrest him, and after abusing him with a fire hose shower and an unsettling shave with a straight razor, Rambo snaps, plagued by flashbacks to when he was a POW tortured by the Viet Cong. He lashes out reflexively, and then it's over for him. He's no longer up on charges of loitering. He has hurt an officer of the law, so he runs, steals a motorbike, and heads into the woods, without even the shirt on his back. The sheriff and his deputies pursue, but they aren't equipped for survival the way Rambo is. The conflict continues to escalate until one of them dies in an accident, the victim of his own aggression, and Rambo must stave off their attack with homemade woodland traps and purloined weapons. The authorities won't back down, and the manhunt soon involves the National Guard. Rambo's own country has turned against him. He's used to that, too. What makes this the greatest action movie? He was a hero stripped of everything, even his clothes, but especially his dignity. Otherwise, caveman rules apply. Despite having little but his own will, wiles, and strength, the Rambo of First Blood was able to not only survive impossible conditions, but strike back against foes who were armed with everything except a conscience. It's a classic David versus Goliath story. And although Rambo later became a right-wing fairy tale and a symbol of Herculean might, the original story was about how our country too often disregards our fighting men and women when they are no longer of use to us. It is, ultimately, a patriotic movie, but not in the nationalistic sense. It begs for respect for the people whose blood and sacrifice secure our freedom and comfort. It asks us to use them honorably and heal the wounds, seen and unseen, that they endure. The villains are the authority figures who'd rather sweep him out of sight. The hero is an everyman. First Blood is thrilling, but it's also about something. It has a beating but broken heart, and yet it remains rousing, inspiring, and downright beautiful between the shootouts, explosions, and fistfights. Beyond that, its profound influence on subsequent action movies is nearly immeasurable. When trying to pick my champion for this Screen Rant debate series, I thought about Terminator 2, Judgment Day as another possible contender. It's no doubt one of the all-time greats, and I remember reading a review that compared the endless brawling between Arnold Schwarzenegger's monster-turned-hero T-800 and Robert Patrick's shape-shifting silver T-1000 to Wile E. Coyote and the Roadrunner. It's actually more like Itchy and Scratchy, but the point was the same. These two could pulverize each other non-stop and keep going like the squash and stretch invincibility of cartoons. That shares some powerhouse DNA with the later Rambo sequels, when Stallone also became like a flesh-and-blood Terminator. But the lack of vulnerability also diminishes the stakes compared to First Blood. Stallone was a fit motherfucker in that film, but he had more of a lean swimmer's physique than a brawny bodybuilder.